Hello, I am Richard, and this is my Implicit Truth. Quite a few years ago now, I purchased a $1,000 sound card setup and began making electronic music. I began because there's not a second that goes by when I'm listening to good electronic music that I'm not burning with a desire to make my own. I'm virtually unable to experience that which I love at peace without a constant internal pressure to produce my own music. It's worse at concerts. I burn from the moment I walk in to the moment I go to sleep that night. I could never really enjoy them for the out of ordinary moments in one's life they are, because I burn with such a ferocious desire. It just completely inebriates my ability to live in the moment. Anyway, so I began making music. Right from the outset, my standards were impossibly high. Nothing was good enough. Only I'm not very good. Every day I'd wake up and listen to the night's work before, and it was rare, if ever, that I would realize it was good enough to stand the morning test. Every day I'd be discouraged by this. Most of the time, disappointment outweighed the enjoyment of creativity. But even then, I always knew there was nothing I'd rather do than keep going, so I reported for duty every night. There came a time on every project where the pressure built up so much that I no longer believed in what I was making. I'd heard the same thing over and over so many times. I couldn't hear any of its virtues, and I could no longer connect with the vision or its auditory equivalent. So I'd start another project and hope would live on again. But as the years passed by, I continued unabated, constantly starting new projects and orphaning them as soon as the pressure of failure and wrecking conceit of a good idea consumed me. I realized I refused to let anybody hear anything. To this day, I can still count on 2 fingers the people who have ever heard over 2 minutes of audio composed by me. I have hundreds of projects, many of which can incite hope in me just listening to them, but I don't have the guts to finish any of them, to tarnish them by actually bringing them to fruition. I listen to what I made 5 years ago and it isn't much different to what I do now, but the world has moved on, just not me with it. But I still believe, in fact, I know 2 things. I know if I can get my shit together, I can do this. I can make good music. But I need to drastically change things up and be accountable for my failure. Nobody really knows the extent of my gigantic failure, so I need to admit that. I also know I have to be nasty first. I'll have to post absolute shite and be prepared to burn it all, to do different things and evolve. So this is the explanation of the likely horror show that will follow. I always knew I had a problem, one of stagnancy, but I could never commit to actually using any of my life. And now a chunk of it's used and I have nothing to show for it. So I think I'm just going to have to be shit, suck it up and produce something tangible. And finally, for full disclosure, I also felt guilty. I was often using pirated software. I felt what I was producing was almost on hire. That to own it, I'd have to pay for it. And I've never used anything that I pirated to its fullest extent. And this may sound strange, but this is just the arbitrary line I drew in the sand. And quite frankly, I've paid for it. This, like the other things I've said, I knew from a very, very long time ago. It's just that I didn't have the guts or the money to lay it on the line and actually commit to doing something. So without further ado, I'm going to post results of tutorials, links to tutorials, excerpts from production, status updates, anything I can think of to stay out of mediocrity. And if you'll come with me, I want you there telling me I need to up my game. because my game is going to be absolute crap at the start. Even now, as I've been doing this video, I've realized something. Even though it's going to cost me valuable time to pull off, it has to be every day. There has to be a video every day. Anything less, and I think the mediocrity will just set back in. I've got to be held to trial every day. So here's my pledge. Health permitting, I'll be here. I say I want it, let's just see how bad I want it.